Hello, it's me, Will.
I mean, Kristen.
We're back. We're recording another new episode of Guide to the Unknown, our little horror comedy podcast. If you're watching this live, stop in the chat, say hello to us.
Yep.
If you are not watching this live, hey.
We'll see you later.
Either
we'll
way.
See you around.
Either way, no matter who you are, what you're doing, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this sucker. Get it out to other people in the world.
Yeah, that'd be great. Then go ahead and put these to the side.
I don't see why.
It'll just be tempting me.
Having a
Cheetos
Cheetos snack. Cheetos, if you want to send us a case of
Parmesan
snacks.
crisps.
How crazy would it be if we were on the level? I'm going to forget them if they're there. Just put them out of range of the camera there. If we were the type of production where we get sent like a case of something.
I'd be thrilled.
What would be the best case of something to receive? It has to be, it has to be a food stuff. It can't be anything ridiculous like diamonds. Like what? Food, drink, something like that.
Pop-Tarts.
Okay.
What else?
Pop-Tarts are good.
Yeah, those like Parmesan crisps because they're kind of expensive. Hey, guys.
Yeah, the Parmesan crisps, that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
But again, like you're basing that also on a sort of a monetary, you know what I mean? Like I feel
but I
like...
love them, but they're pricey. Like I just got a pack from Amazon, it was $20.
Yeah, I think it just has to be like, it would typically be annoying to have something in too much abundance.
Yeah.
But if it was like coming in by the box full.
Yeah. I mean, also those things are never going to go bad.
Okay, that's
so I'd be fine with those. What about you?
Like Totino's pizza rolls or something?
Well, but if you have an abundance, then you don't have enough room in your freezer.
That's
is
true.
The thing. Yeah, because if
That
we're
is
going
true.
that way, then I want dumplings all day. I
Dumplings.
love dumplings. Dumplings are my favorite food.
Okay, so what of like the pre-packaged...
Mom said KDR in the house.
Hey, what's up, Mom?
Oh my God, Eric, you are so right. We would just get cases of jelly eyeballs and candy worms, like things that are like in theme where it's spooky. We're just like, what the hell are we gonna do with this?
Or PB Goober.
Yeah. Oh God, we'd be screwed.
We got that. We still...
That's probably how it would go if we were to get anything.
Did we wait too long for it
Hi from England.
to be timely to do a PB Goober review on YouTube? Or do you think that's going to be just as timely anytime we
I think it's
decide
just
to
as
do it?
timely. What do you mean, timely relative to like the last time we did it?
Yeah, because we did a PB Goober,
Yeah.
like, you know, website
I told you I'm not eating
roundup.
that. Yeah.
I'll eat it.
Okay.
But you just have to be with me on the
Yeah,
stream.
I'll be a
We'll
moderator.
do a PB Goober review.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm sure there are channels that review. I know there are channels that review like
Blueberry
fast
I'd
food
get
and
into.
stuff.
Yes.
Cereal is a really good one.
Yeah, Eric said booberry. Drew said DP Cooper eats PP Goober.
He was probably in those
That's
reviews.
a perfect blend.
He was-
Yeah, he was hiding in plain sight in those reviews. That's how he gets his jollies. He can be public but not.
We crossed paths with DB Cooper and we didn't even know it. We were reading reviews from PB
Remember
Goober.
that sweet, sweet PB Goober.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Oh, God.
All right, everybody, please share the show. We greatly appreciate it. We're going to post in a few places right now. I've already been, ahead of time, wrote a bunch of things that all I had to do is copy and paste.
Oh, good.
Which is
Is that in a
convenient,
text
'cause
to me?
I can't stand it. Yeah, I started it here because
I'm just surprised you didn't use like a notes app or
I'm
something.
going to transplant it elsewhere. Whatever. I'm mysterious. You never know what I'm going to do. Hey, Mel.
That's true.
Hey, Louie. AKB.
Yeah, hey, everybody.
We were just talking about PB.
Yeah, that's right. What a coincidence.
Hope you're all having a good evening. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Here we go. Post. And look at this. Just copy and paste. Can you believe what I'm pulling off
I
here?
can't believe this.
It's incredible.
I live my life by copying and pasting things. You should see my folders.
I believe it.
Insanity.
I believe it. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate it. Eric retweeted it.
Thank you very much, Eric. Yeah, it's all about visibility. We just
And
want
efficiency.
you to hear us. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad
JK
that you get
crew.
to watch live. That's
Welcome.
awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Ready?
Sorry, you wanna...
Okay. Hey guys, it's the kids, and we are going live on YouTube right now. So head to youtube.com/talkbomb, and we're going to do this week's episode.
Yep.
Perfect. Like I said, efficiency is important.
Yep. Brevity is the soul of wit.
That's
I've
right.
never been more clever in my life.
Yep.
Cool. I think I'm just about good. So you're gonna go first tonight? Is that right?
Sure.
Okay. Mine. I'm curious to see how mine plays out.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody, what do you wish you could receive in bulk? Like, you mentioned, I remember Johnny Knoxville went on the Tonight Show wearing a shirt for Tux.
Get Tux, yeah.
Just like
so funny.
adult diapers. The idea was he was...
No, it's hemorrhoid wipes.
Oh, it is? I thought it was... Okay. And the idea was that he was trying to, like, get them to send him a ton of product, which is awesome. Cereal is a pretty good one for me. I wonder... But it's not good to get something that's like... you wouldn't want to get Cinnamon Toast Crunch because it's so horrible for you.
I know, and I would eat it instantly. There are some things that just don't remain in my house. Oh, yeah. God. I got to think of drumsticks for Ryan as a treat last week. I ate...
Did he even have one?
I think he had 2.
Okay. Well, there's only 4 in the box.
Not when you buy an 8-pack.
Oh, my God. There's only 2 of you in that house.
They didn't last the weekend.
8-pack? Machi.
They didn't have a 4-pack. Oh, but well, maybe they did.
That's typically the only way they come. I didn't even know they had an 8-pack.
I don't know. It was at Target. It seemed pretty standard. I killed them.
Allie and I got a fancy ice cream, or like one of those wacky ice creams the other day. It's not Ben & Jerry's.
Ooh, mini hot dogs. I like that answer, Sarah.
Mini hot dogs. You got to refrigerate
like
those.
Pigs in a blanket?
You got to refrigerate
but
those.
maybe they're frozen pigs in a blanket. I love pigs in a blanket.
You know those like stinky little sausages that they don't
Vienna
refrigerate?
Sausages? Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, what is it, like Holmdel and Crick or whatever? Like there's one of those fake brands that Target sells.
Yeah.
And it's like a giant sausage.
Holmdel and Crick.
That's a good name.
That's a really good name.
We were at our friend's holiday party a few years back, and our buddy Steve held one over a fire to cook it and eat it. And he kept eating it, but he said it never got warmer. Even though he was holding it over a fire for
my God.
For like truly like 20 minutes. He was like, it's not even warm. Those things don't...
That's freaky.
They don't respond to the laws of nature.
But I love those boxes. I know you're talking about those Pepperidge Farm boxes.
Yeah, disgusting.
I like them.
Ew, you eat those yucky, sweaty sausages?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I'm picturing the big sausage that you slice. I'm not talking about like a little thing of... I know, both gross, but I'd just like to distinguish. I'm not eating like the tiny sausages in a can.
I don't like a little sausage that's actually crimped at the edges.
No. Crimped at the edges.
Yeah, like like a peppermint, like those little twists at the end. I don't like it when it's sausage
sausages like that.
Sometimes they cut them off. I prefer that. I need to live in the illusion that like
when
hot
do they
dogs
ever cut
is just
them off?
around.
Oh,
the end of a hot dog is just
William. Look, if you want to get into it,
there's no.
It's not. No, you're absolutely.
There's not a ponytail.
You're absolutely okay. There's not a ponytail, but there's like the edges.
You can see.
Yeah, like it's a belly button.
It's for... That's horrific.
I know.
Oh my God.
So they only cut off like the tiniest nub. I would prefer if they cut off that whole end, so it's just flat. Like
Sarah says
you could stand it up on a table.
Yeah. Sarah says the sausage nubbin is the best part. Spoken truly like somebody who wants to receive endless mini hot dogs.
Sarah, I like your stuff.
You're on brand with yourself. Hey, Bobby.
Hey.
Mom wants spanakopita hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, I love spanakopita. I'd be more than happy to receive that too. We're gonna need to get a huge freezer. We're gonna need a bigger freezer.
We're gonna need a bigger freezer. Okay, I'm ready if you are.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, everybody. Last chance. Please consider sharing, liking, subscribing, spreading the word. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, we really would.
And yeah, we're going to do the show. If you have to leave at any point, this is going to be out on all major podcast apps and right here, youtube.com/talkbomb this Friday.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to go. Hello, welcome to Guides to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
And we are here to tell you interesting tales from the world of the weird.
The world of the weird is
know.
wonderful.
I know.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's a good sort of
That
like...
flowed better than it usually does.
Like Weekly World News, some sort of a publication that rounds up outlandish stories from around the world.
The world of the weird.
The world of the weird. I feel like that's
probably
untapped.
out there.
I wonder if anybody's used that.
I wonder too. I haven't heard of it off the top of my head, but I could see going to that website and it being taken.
Yeah, somebody put together a newsletter, tether it to us. It's our entity, but you run it. I don't want to do anything.
Hang on. The world of the weird.com. Let's see. Oh, damn it. I put the world of the weird. That's Johnny Weir's website. No, there's no theworldoftheweird.com. So
okay, all right. I'm gonna buy it before the night is out.
Up for grabs for us. Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I've invested a lot in domains recently.
Yeah.
This is not the place for that. All right.
All right, so I'm going to go first, and I have kind of a weird presentation for you guys tonight. I have a mini monster that's not a monster, so it's just a mini segment, and it's not even that mini. And then I have kind of a short main segment. So really, I just have kind of like 2 stories tonight to take up the length that I might usually take, maybe, if that.
Well, you have the floor.
Thank God, I'm happy to take it. My mini monster is based on something that I was totally wrong about, and I felt like a dumbass the second I realized, but I didn't feel like changing it. So I was looking in my notes to start taking, my notes for this week's episode, and I have them numbered, like as we go, episode 76, 77, whatever. Our last episode was 77, and I got 77 stuck in my mind as this week's episode.
Oh.
And I thought to myself, hey, repeating numbers. Why don't I look up angel numbers and the meanings of different repeating numbers?
Angel numbers?
Yes. And then I realized this is episode 78, you dummy.
Yeah.
So, a little late, but I was trying to be on theme and I missed.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
anyway, we're still going to talk about it. So, angel numbers are, it's like the concept of when you see repeating numbers, and that's supposed to mean that angels are trying to communicate with you in some way. So it's either them kind of giving you just like a hey, heads up, I'm with you, I see you, or there are different meanings ascribed to different specific numbers.
Oh, that's
that
interesting.
you could look up and be like, oh my God, I keep seeing like 444 all over the place today, and you looked up and you're like, oh, 444 means blah, blah, blah.
I didn't know that. I know of people like seeing signs and synchronicities that happen around them. I don't think I've heard of angel numbers.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
I've heard that phrase before,
Yeah.
but didn't really attach
Yeah.
any meaning to it. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like a very specific kind of synchronicity.
Okay.
And so the numbers can appear anywhere. It doesn't have to be that specific. So it could be on clocks, like the time. It could be on billboards, phone numbers, license plates. Those are all common things where people tend to notice them and kind of get some meaning from them. So basically the thought is that your angels, either your specific guardian angels or just kind of like angels around in the universe, whatever, are somehow guiding you to see that number at that time. So it might be that, angels have kind of like tapped you on the shoulder at 4:44 again, so that you turn and look at the clock and see 4:44. They're not just like placing numbers like random places and it's all happenstance. It's all kind of in the idea that they are guiding you to see these things when they want you to for this reason. Or whether it's like having you move or somehow physically moving objects, like somehow an angel guides a guy who's in the car lane to the left of you to go into your lane in front of you so that you can see that his license plate is 444,
right,
or whatever it is. So I've heard this before and I wasn't sure what the origin of them is, like where that idea first came into play. And it seems like this woman named Doreen Virtue was the person who either came up with the idea of angel numbers or started interpreting numbers in this way, or maybe she's just the one who popularized it in the biggest way. But definitely Doreen Virtue is attached to angel numbers. And as I'm saying her name out loud, I wonder if her name is really Doreen Virtue.
I know.
Or if that is, a
pen
stage name of
Yeah.
sorts. Yeah. So she wrote a book in the 80s called Angel Numbers and Their Meanings. And she's basically big in the world of angels and divination stuff in general because she wrote that book. And then she has a number of, not just, when I say a number, it makes it sound like a couple. She has a whole bunch of oracle decks, which are kind of like tarot cards, except that where tarot cards has a specific system where there's the major arcana and minor arcana and all that kind of stuff that we talked about in a previous episode. If you look up divination, it's in that episode. But oracle cards are way more freeform, where it's just kind of the designer of them has made a design and then put a meaning to that design, and you shuffling them and you doing it and you having your energy that you want to check out what's in this oracle deck is kind of affecting what you pick up. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm reading this right now, and this applies to me in this way.
Huh.
So similar to tarot, you can do spreads with them and things like that, but I think they're more commonly just taken one at a time to get like a quick little message, and much more fluid in the way that they're formed. So she has written a ton of and designed a ton of oracle decks and a little guidebooks that go with them for like all kinds of creatures. There are like angel oracle decks, there are mermaid oracle decks, there are all kinds of things. And so like I said, they're more freeform than tarot, and I was thinking that from the outset being like, oh, okay, like a mermaid oracle deck, it's like, oh, it makes, you might think off the bat like, oh, this certain mermaid has a certain message for a person, like what the hell does that all mean? But I think that in the same way that you bring your own perspective and your own energy of that day, your own vibe to tarot cards, you're bringing your own vibe to the oracle cards. So you're going to take in more from something that appeals to you than you are from something random. Okay. So if you're somebody who's super duper into mermaids and you'd like to see the messages that, you know, are kind of written in the character of a mermaid or something, that's going to be more useful to you maybe than a tarot deck, which is kind of just more general and less prescribed. With oracle decks, you can pick the one that appeals to you the most, and you might have a little bit more of a personal relationship with it because of that.
So you might have a tarot deck and have a...
Oracle deck.
Oracle deck.
Yeah, and you can like use them in tandem. Like you could do like a tarot spread and then do an oracle card on top of that one that you are using to kind of inform the message from that tarot card and like build out from there.
Gotcha.
So Doreen Virtue is somebody who is prolific in the world of oracle decks and divination in that way. But something that's very interesting is that semi-recently, so only in 2017, she renounced all of these old things that she used to do because she says that she saw a vision of Jesus that led her to understand that everything that we need spiritually comes from following him and the scripture. And he doesn't want anybody doing any sort of divination work or any kind of like psychic like nudging into that world. So I was reading on her website, she discontinued the printing of most of her products and had her name removed from some of the ones that are still being printed. And it had just kind of a throwaway line about something about partnerships. So I would imagine that means that she couldn't just cancel everything full stop because maybe there are like collaborations.
In place.
Yeah, maybe she like collaborated with an artist on an oracle deck and so they have partial ownership of it, so she can't just cut off production or something. But she's removed her name from everything that she could. And she says that she still believes in angels, but she says that we're not supposed to call on them ourselves and try to like interact with them directly, that we should pray to God and he will send them to us.
Okay, so it's just at which level in the hierarchy are you interacting? Kind
of like, obviously in, you know, Christianity and other beliefs, like God would be above angels, but I guess it's almost like going over God's head to try to talk to an angel directly. Right. Because there are also angels who are like archangels who are in charge of certain things. And so I guess it's like, it's not for you to decide which angel you need. You should pray to God and he's going to send you whatever you need in the form of whatever angel is best served for that.
It's like you go to Best Buy and you want to know if they have the new Nintendo Labo VR headset in stock.
Right.
But instead of going into the back room and talking to the people that work in the warehouse, you're supposed to talk to the people that run the floor.
William, exactly. So you see where Doreen Virtue is coming from with this.
Yeah, it's just inappropriate to go directly to the angels, go to God. He can deliver the message to the angels.
It's just inappropriate.
It's just inappropriate.
It's just inappropriate.
It's so funny that she wanted, like, that was such a big deal that she had to get her name scrubbed from every single one of those products.
Well, it sounds like it was a real world rocker. Like, I didn't go super, super far into her website, but she basically, it looks like she has blog posts that are like, why you should reject the New Age movement. Like, she was one of the, like, spearheads of the New Age movement. She was, like, a really big deal. And a lot of her work, if not all of it, was about divination and kind of psychic work and contacting spirits and getting messages from them. So if she one day woke up and was like, oh my God, everything that I've been doing is wrong, it's exactly the opposite of what I should do, then I could see why she would just want to do a rejection of it and be like, I don't want to be involved in any of this, and encouraging other people to do it because now I think I've found what is like the way.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting now I think about it that she had so many different kinds of oracle decks, like the angel deck, the mermaid deck, the whatever deck, because that's kind of suggesting that there are a bunch of different ways for you to communicate with your own spirituality. You might, you know, really resonate with mermaids, you like that deck, or maybe you resonate with mermaids on one day and angels on a different day, and it's kind of this very customizable mix and match way to engage with divination spirituality.
Right.
And now she seems to just be saying, nope, there's just one way. Like, not only should we reject all these decks, like, I shouldn't even had all this variety of decks. There is specifically one way to do this, and it is Jesus Christ. So
it's funny too that, not to cast a judgment on anyone for what they believe in, it's funny to be like, yeah, I've been creating all these oracle decks and telling you how to contact angels for decades in a variety of ways. Listen, all right, I gotta come clean. You shouldn't believe in any of that stuff. What you should believe is this. Like,
Right.
like rather than being like, it was all a hoax.
And she has products now like that kind of like go with scripture and Jesus, things like that. So I don't know if I don't think from what I read on her website that she's like, it was a hoax or like I was wrong. I think she just kind of thinks I actually think she was wrong, but she just kind of misguided and
Yeah.
now she understands.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. It doesn't seem like she was like, nope, wrong, stupid, whatever. But I think she's like disappointed that she was that way.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of Anne Rice a little bit. Like Anne Rice is a born again Christian, maybe around the same time this happened, and now she's not hot on her vampire books that she wrote.
She
and
wrote
everything.
Interview with the Vampire and like
Sexy Lestat or whatever.
Gideon's Rock Core.
Yeah.
What was it? Queen of the Damned.
Oh, Queen of the Day.
I was talking about this the other day with Bobby because Jonathan Davis produced the soundtrack.
Yep.
And so he wrote songs with people like the guy from Disturbed and Aaron Lewis.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to that album constantly.
I remember you really being a fan of that album.
Oh, sure
Yeah.
I was. And there's a song that, the only thing I remember from it was a song that goes, "You see, I cannot be forsaken
That sounds right.
because I'm not the only one."
Oh my God, who did that?
And then I think it goes, I think it's the guy from Disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes, "We walk among you, feeding, killing." Then the next line is, "Plus we hide from everyone."
That's such a weak
Which might
enter
be
to that.
the weakest way
That's really
to
funny.
finish your chorus.
We kill
Plus-
people, we do all this stuff, plus we hide from everyone.
Plus we hide from everyone. Plus,
Yeah. P.S.
but wait, there's more.
We're gonna hide.
Plus we hide.
Just the word plus
I like
in
that.
that is funny.
Plus is
like not
very
even
weak.
like in addition, we hide in the
Right.
shadows.
Yeah. You've just talked about how you cannot
Plus
be
we hide from
forsaken.
everyone. Yeah.
Plus. Like it's like bordering on
It's so
colloquial.
casual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's insane. Anyway,
amazing.
I can't believe she renounced those works.
It was a shock to all of
Hard to
us
understand.
all of us Lestatians in the community.
I was wearing my stockings watching the movie.
Oh, what a coincidence.
You know what? I renounced that joke. That's stupid.
It's okay.
Thank you.
It does what it needs to do.
Do you know what angel numbers mean? Do you have
Yes.
any? Okay.
So that's the next thing. So I got the meaning of angel numbers from thesecretoftarot.com or thesecretofthetarot.com because I thought a lot of sites cite Doreen Virtue's explanation of the angel numbers. I can only assume that this is just paraphrasing them, but I was like, well, this lady wants it scrubbed so bad, I'll find somebody else's source for the angel numbers.
Okay.
If it means so much to her, you know.
That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
There's no way she'd ever know.
She
I won't use your
She
knowledge.
knows.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. Yeah.
Okay. So, and these, I'm going to say all the individual number, but imagine these in sequences. So when I say 1, think of 1111 or 3 ones or even more.
Okay. A gaggle of ones.
Right. So 1, this is the number of originality, leadership, and independence. When this number appears, it could signal the beginning of something new and original in your life. 2, this is the number of cooperation, association, and sensitivity to others and could be a sign that you need to cooperate more or be more sensitive to others. 3, the number of spirituality, creativity, and self-expression. The angels may use this number to show you new avenues of conviviality and creativity. 4, this is the number associated with stability, work, and career. When you see this number, it is often a warning about your career situation. 5, associated with adventure, excitement, and higher consciousness, it is a sign that good times are on their way. 6, this number represents everything connected with home, including family ties and responsibilities. 7, this is a sign that you are in alignment with your spiritual purpose, for 7 is the number of spirit. Opportunities to align with divine purpose will open up to you. 8, the number of abundance and material prosperity, the angels are sending you guidance on how you can attract that abundance while achieving your deeper spiritual purpose. 9, this is the number of the accomplishment of your soul's deeper purpose. It is a sign from your source that it is time to start your real work.
Whoa. What is your real work?
I don't know.
0's not on there?
No.
It's funny that 6 didn't mention the beast.
Yeah, it is funny that 6 didn't mention the beast.
The only time that numbers,
Yeah.
repeated numbers mean anything
that's
to
a
anyone else
very
on the
famous
planet
repeated number.
are 666.
Maybe they were just like, best not to even mention it.
Yeah.
Because when I just looked back at it when you said that, I was like, maybe it's like the opposite of the beast is 6. But no, it's
It was
about
like family, right?
family.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the dark trinity of beasts.
That's true. And again, Trinity.
Yeah.
Numbers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Numbers are very important.
You're right.
So obviously seeing these all the time could be confirmation bias. Maybe if you're
Sure.
somebody who's really into angel numbers, you're kind of looking out for them. But you know what? If you're really into them and looking out for them gives you some sort of comfort and some sort of like tap on the shoulder you feel that's like everything's okay, then as long as you're not making like life-altering decisions based on the angel numbers and stuff, I say go for it.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, theory.
Yeah.
Number stations are used to spread the angel's messages out to people.
Ooh.
Double-
Yeah, I guess it depends on how often repeating numbers happen on number stations. Is that a lot?
Does it have to be repeating numbers?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of them do go like 3, 7, 7, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9.
Then yes, I wonder if there are number stations that are all repeating numbers.
That'd be interesting.
And there were websites, I will say, that I guess it doesn't. I think for angel numbers that has to be repeating numbers. There were websites that I found that had meanings for like a million bajillion numbers, like single digit and like multiple digits. But I think that kind of applies a little bit more to just numerology straight
Right.
up. I think as far as the single digits, I think as long as it's a repeating number, it falls into the realm of angel numbers. But I think people kind of just took it and ran with it.
Oh, okay.
So I think these are the only real like prescribed ones.
Gotcha. Because I was going to say another further connection would be that the show Lost was all about 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Yeah.
Which were broadcast from a number station, but also would pop up in people's lives in unexpected ways.
Right. Oh, so good.
And so in that sense, they function kind of like angel numbers, aside from not being, repeated single digits.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah, I guess it was kind of a sign that the island was calling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the angels calling.
exactly. Yeah,
So-
it's so strange.
I know. So I think as long as it's not a disempowering thing in your life, as long as you're not being like led around by it, then, sweet.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Is there any like combo work here? Can you get like 3 number 7s and a couple 2s?
I guess it all depends on your
Right.
perspective.
Yeah.
If you feel like that's an angel number to you or that's some sort of sign to you, then yeah, it is. All of this stuff is a matter of the way that
Yeah.
you take it in.
Well, then you know what? I do think that could happen.
What could happen? Oh, the 7s and 2s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's maybe it's supercharged then.
Everything's gone all 6s and 7s. Isn't that like British slang?
Yes.
Someone out there knows what I said, but
Yeah.
not what I meant, because I didn't know what it meant when I said it.
I think it means you're feeling all crazy. I was at 6s and 7s.
Really?
I think so.
Huh.
I know
why
Austin
6 was
Powers
afraid of
says it.
7, right?
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah. You know
I
what
don't know,
7...
I don't know if we should talk about
You know
it.
what 7 did, right?
Yeah, but I'm afraid 7's going to hear us, and then he's going to go ham.
7 did something. 7 doesn't need ham anymore because of what he did.
That's right, because he ate 9.
He ate 9. Anyway, what was 9? What's 9?
9 is the number of the soul, the number of the accomplishment of your soul's deeper purpose. It's
Oh.
a sign from source that it is time to start your real work.
Oh, because of 7, you're not ever going to
Yeah.
start your real work. Thanks a lot.
You can kiss that goodbye. So what are we stuck with 7? It's that you're in alignment with your spiritual purpose. So that's pretty good.
That's
I mean,
pretty good.
It seems like it's kind of similar to 9, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Maybe that's why 7 had a grudge.
maybe that's why 7, 8, 9. It was
Yeah.
just like, this is obsolete.
You're redundant.
You came after me and you're saying the same thing as me. You're just a copycat. I want
Yep.
you out of here.
Pack your
so
bags.
I eat you.
It's time to go.
Into my tummy.
Yeah.
So, on to topic number 2.
Yes.
Total, not
180
connected.
disconnected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the story of the man from Taured? And that's how I'm going to pronounce it. I don't know if it's Taured. It's Taured.
Yes, I think I have.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. Does this
Okay.
have something to do with time travel?
Yes, it could.
Didn't we talk about this man?
Did we? Oh, God.
We might have.
Oh,
Did he
no.
appear on message boards?
No.
Oh, okay. Then I'm thinking
Okay.
of the time traveler that was like posting online. Yeah, there was a man.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I know why I have my wires crossed, because this was somebody else that was like sort of from like another dimension or place that doesn't exist on the map.
Yes.
Something like that. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Wait, did we talk about it?
I don't think so. I know.
Okay.
I know of it, at least in concept, because of the podcast Tell 'em Steve Dave. I think they covered it at some point, but I don't remember anything other than like a man turned up and he was like, "I'm from Torad."
Yeah.
But I got my wires crossed with the guy that was like, "I'm from another time."
Yeah.
It's just time or place.
Yes.
It's the same thing, but I'm very excited.
I'm waiting for that day to come where I forget that one of us covered something and I go to do it again.
I know. Or
Can only hope that I put a fresh spin on it.
or waiting for that day where you're sent out on like a business trip, and when
Yeah.
you land, they're like, "Cool, so like, yeah, where are you from?" You're like, "New Jersey," and they're like, "I'm sorry, you're from where?"
Yeah, this is probably a nightmare for this guy.
I've never heard of it.
Sounds terrible.
I'm very excited for this, Kristen.
Okay, this is an interesting story overall. Like, the story itself is interesting, and then the way this story even came to be is very interesting. So, the deal with the man from Torrid is that in 1954, a guy flew into an airport in Tokyo, coming from Europe, with a passport that said he was from a country called Torrid. So he like appeared to be European. He was like a white guy who had a beard, and he had several kinds of European currency on him. Like, he was a frequent traveler. He's going all over the place. But there was one problem. None of the officials there had ever heard of a country called Torrid.
What year is this again?
1954.
Okay.
So, but his passport looked legit, and he seemed like kind of just like a legit businessman. So they're very confused by this whole thing. So they're at the gate or whatever, trying to figure this out, and nobody's able to come to a conclusion. So like, all right, we're going to put this guy in a room to figure this out. And they were worried that he was maybe some sort of like criminal, like a trafficker or a smuggler or something like that.
Who did a really bad job with their fake passport.
Bad, but also kind of good, because the passport looked so real that they were
Right.
thrown. If they were bad, it'd be so obviously fake that you're just like, what are you trying, sir?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you could have chosen a
At the
real
same
country.
rate, yeah, why would you pick a fake country? If you were
Yeah.
trying to get away with
Yes.
something, why would you write? It's like McLovin.
Yeah.
From Superbad. Why
Yeah,
would
like,
you put
why
that
would
down?
you believe? Nobody's gonna believe that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So they put him in this room, and the guy was pissed about the holdup. He said that he has traveled to Japan tons of times over the past 5 years for business, 3 times in that year alone. But they could. See, there are 2 versions of the story. They could either find no evidence of the company that he said he worked for, or they called the company he worked for and they had no idea who he was.
Okay.
Either way, things are still not really adding up. And also, I was thinking kind of in either version of this story, well, I guess only in the version of you're looking for the company maybe. We have the internet now, so you could look up whatever company, and if it doesn't come up, it doesn't come up. Were they just in the yellow pages in 1954? Like, where is this thing?
Yeah, I
Where
guess
is
so.
Torrid Enterprises? Like, there's R and there's S, and then there's nothing in the T's.
Right.
So it had to be very tedious. Or were they like calling the phone line with all the ladies and being like, "You please connect me to Torrid Enterprises?" And they're like, "I don't know." So I don't know how they figured this stuff out. Also, the bank that his checkbook was from didn't exist.
Oh my God.
So just like going through all his effects, and like nothing is adding up. Like, they haven't heard of any of this stuff. Basically.
If this guy is from Torad, if he's
Yeah.
not from, our universe,
Yeah.
this poor dude.
I know, just held up and either confused because
Yeah.
maybe he's not realizing what's happening, or super nervous and like sweating bullets. Like, oh my God, I thought I was going to get away with this. They told me that this would work.
Oh,
Like-
that's interesting. Yeah.
Why isn't this working? They gave me all of this stuff. I assumed that Torrid was a real
I
place.
thought Torad was real when they gave me this passport.
If I knew that this was a fake thing we're trying to pull over on somebody, I would have made them give me a real country.
Yeah.
So, he said he could, not just he said, he could speak Japanese, he could speak a couple of other languages, and just add to this idea that he has been to Japan back and forth, so this should just be like another day at the office. What is the big deal? And he spoke French natively. So they brought him a world map finally, and they're like, "Show us where Torrid is." Like, none of us know where this is, show it. And he's looking at the map, and he was very confused and irritated that he couldn't find Torrid on the map. He's like, "It's supposed to be here." He said that it was where the Principality of Andorra was, along with parts of France and Spain. And he said that it had been a country for like 1,000 years. So like, what the hell? Why isn't it on this map? This all isn't making any sense.
Yeah, this is a fake map.
Yeah, and he's starting to get pissed, and he's like, well, you need to figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm from Torred. This is my fake bank. This is my fake work, my fake country. Like, I don't know. You figure it out, because this is really annoying. And they couldn't come to an agreement, because everything looked so legit. They couldn't disprove it exactly. Like, they didn't know what to do, basically. So they're like, we have to figure this out. We can't just let this guy go, because what if he's a bad guy? And this is all still very suspect. So they put him up in a hotel room for the night. And they're like, well, we'll touch base again. I don't know what the hell we're going to do with this here. So the room, his hotel room, had 2 guards standing outside that he couldn't leave. And he didn't leave the room. Like, they had dinner delivered to him, and he went to bed pretty early. Well, room service.
That's great.
Hell yeah. I'll tell people that I'm from Torrid if I get sick room service.
Yeah, exactly.
French toast sticks.
Oh.
For dinner?
This grilled cheese is for the man from Torad. Thank you.
That is me. I am the man from Torrid.
Man from Torad.
So he was in his room the whole night, as far as these guards knew, and then went to bed early because it had been a long day of aggravation and shakeup. You're tired when you travel anyway. He's going from Europe to Japan.
He opened the refrigerator and stood in it because in his dimension, the refrigerator is that flat thing in the bedroom, and you sleep in the fridge.
That's right. He didn't understand any of this stuff.
He's like a.
They told him all this was going to be different. He thought he would know the lay of the land. I don't know where anything is.
This guy's a real mork.
Yeah, he's a real mork. There's no actual evidence of morkish behavior, I will say. He seemed totally normal.
Okay.
No evidence of him trying to sleep in the fridge or anything. Normal dude, getting room service, going to bed early, because this has been one hell of a day.
Yeah.
So then, in the morning, when they go to get him to do more questioning, they open the door to the room, and it's empty. He is gone. There's no one in there. The guards say that nobody left all night. They're both, awake and alert. And the only other exit besides the front door is a window, and they're on a very high floor, and it doesn't have a ledge or anything. There's just, this guy disappeared. There's no evidence of what happened to him, and we never know.
Quite frankly, what a relief.
I know. Yeah, you're right. It's like, well, I guess we don't have to worry about that.
That's a lot of paperwork I won't have to do.
That's like the universe's problem.
I guess he's back in Torad.
I know he landed with us, but we really don't have anything to do with this. This guy landed in our laps and he left. So
what am I supposed to do? He's from another universe. What do you want me to do with this guy?
Just go back to working at the airport.
All his knowledge is useless.
Yeah.
If you get zapped to another dimension and you don't even know how the hell you got there to begin with, there was just some sort of a flub. The membrane between dimensions was wafer thin.
Yes.
Somehow you slopped through. You end up in another world.
Membrane and slopped through. That was disgusting.
Well, I'm not wrong. And, New Jersey doesn't exist anymore. And you're telling people, but I'm from New Jersey. What do you mean that's southern New York?
Yeah.
No, New Jersey used to be there.
New Jersey. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you never get zapped back to this dimension, you're just in this world.
Yeah. Untethered.
First of all, talk about a new start. You can be whoever you want.
That's true.
But you can't prove it's like okay, well, was there a divergence in the timeline and now we're in 2 different versions of today and there's a cultural history that we do share, or is it totally distinct?
A complete different
even
thing.
If you try to get a job, I know that there are people that have a college degree in a foreign country and come here and it's not counted at the same level. Can you imagine going to another dimension and trying to be like, listen, I graduated high school, but we don't know what they taught you in your high school at all.
Right. Absolutely.
We don't have any of the curriculum of Universe Zeta Prime.
No, we have no evidence that's even true.
Yeah.
We
don't know. Quite frankly, we don't know what to do with you.
Yeah.
My rebuttal would just be like,
disappear.
Can you keep me in that hotel room?
Because this is pretty sweet.
You're going to ask me questions.
Yeah.
I'll live stream.
Yeah.
Keep the grilled cheeses coming. I'll do whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, that doesn't sound so bad. I could definitely exist in a hotel room with room service pretty indefinitely.
And then immediately,
I
would start being like, now let me tell you a story that I came up with in my dimension.
Yeah.
Tony Stark
yeah,
found
you'll
himself
be
in a cave with a
huge.
box of, and they're like, "That's Iron Man." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." No,
So
I
you
knew
have
one.
that here. Okay, see.
Okay. The Addams Family. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And they're like, "This is really intriguing." And now you're the inventor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good idea. I remember that mom and dad would try to sell us on the not like we had any control whether we moved or not. But like when we moved, they'd be like, "You're going to a new place. Like you can be like anybody who you want, like any person you want." But just wherever I went, there I was.
Yeah, it was always the same dullard.
I know.
Everywhere we went.
I never took advantage of it and like cultivated like a cool new Kristen attitude. So it was just me.
The name's Spruce Rogers. Yeah.
Spruce Rogers. That's really good.
I can really shred the bagpipe.
Yeah.
But I quit playing that thing when I moved out of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Connecticut, we used to call it.
It's for losers. Anyway.
Hey, Spruce, hang out with me. No, don't listen to him, Spruce. Come over to my house.
Spruce Rogers is a really good name. So yeah, the man from Torrid, you know, the theory about this story is that exactly what we're saying. Somebody from another dimension who accidentally blooped into ours.
I love it.
In their dimension that there is a Torrid, you know, that bank is there. It's funny to think of other dimensions having things as mundane as banks.
Sure.
But absolutely.
It's just another version of our world.
I know.
Bank of America could easily sound like some fake brand made up for
Yes.
a movie or something. You know?
Absolutely. So that's the main thing, or that maybe he's a time traveler who accidentally like blooped back or forward or whatever from a time. Well,
He's
I guess
traveling on
back.
planes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's used to the idea of planes. He's not like, what is this mechanical
Oh
bird
my
in the
God!
sky?
If somehow the country of Torad is founded,
Yeah.
do you
Oh.
lose your mind?
Oh, I
like
see.
in our
Oh.
lifetime, you know, like in like 20 years, they're like, we've decided to call ourselves Torad. And you're like,
Guys,
do they
do
know
you remember
this
that
story? Or like, is this possible? And then a bunch of people who live in Torad are like,
Yeah.
oh no, I might be the man from Torad.
At any moment, am I going to take a step and then I'm just like blooped into an airplane?
One of us
Yeah.
leaves this dimension and goes back in time.
Right, it's a guarantee. So
Yeah.
which one's it going to be, boys?
This stinks.
Well, here's why that's unlikely. Here are the origins of the story of the man from Torad.
No. No!
It's very interesting.
I
though.
don't want to hear it.
So I found this from the website anomalyinfo.com, a classic old website. So if you want to go check this out, I highly recommend it. The background is all forest green. Like the entire page is forest green and then white. It's great.
I want to leave the room before you say whatever you're about to say.
No, I'm so sorry. It basically seems like this. Okay, so anybody citing the story of the man from Torrid, it's basically all misattributed footnotes that make it seem like this was a story that was gradually made up along the way. It started as kind of like a sentence and then turned into the story that I just told you. So when you find references to it online and talking about its origins, they mainly say that the story comes from works by Colin Wilson and Tom Slemen, but the references to it the references that they both have, those two authors to it, are super short, and so they literally can't be the source material for the big story that we hear today, because it's not there. So the earliest place that people say it's from is Colin Wilson's 1981 book called Directory of Possibilities, which was a bunch of kind of like short stories and essays about paranormal stuff, and it literally only has one sentence about the man from Torrid, or the story, or that connects to the story, in an entry written by somebody named Paul Begg. This is it. This is one of the big references where people are like, yeah, it's from this book. And in 1954, a passport check in Japan is alleged to have produced a man with papers issued by the nation of Torrid. That's it. So people say, like, oh yeah, this story was from this book in 1901. That's it. Then the next reference that you can find, like in print or documents or anything, is from that guy Tom Slemen's 1999 book Strange But True, Mysterious and Bizarre People, and this is only 3 sentences. So he says, there have been many reports of visitors from other planets dropping in on Earth. In 1954, the Japanese authorities detained a man trying to enter the country with a passport that revealed he was from an unheard country named Torrid. A thorough check was made by the customs officials to see if there was such a place anywhere on Earth, but they drew a blank. The stranger refused to throw light on the whereabouts of the mysterious nation of Torrid and quickly left Japan. So in this book, he gives no source for that story. So you can kind of only assume that it came from reading Begg's one-line story and then adding on to it, filling in the gaps that was left from that one-line story. Then the complete version, that is like what I just told you, seems to have come from a website called Before It's News in 2012, run by somebody named Terrence Aim. I looked it up, and that website still exists today. It's like a very scary conspiracy theory website.
Oh, okay.
That I don't recommend. So Aim said that part of the story that he was telling on his website came from various books about strange happenings in the 50s. So meaning that he kind of like pooled a bunch of knowledge that he had from books here and there together to kind of tell the complete story. But he doesn't specifically cite any of those books. He does cite a website that posted Tom Sleeman's like 3-sentence account that I just told you. So again, the same way that Tom Sleeman seems to have filled in the gaps from the one sentence, it seems like Terrence Aim filled in the gaps from those 3 sentences, and it became this story, which then caught on.
So it's arguably old and recent.
Yes. So, you know, who knows where Paul Begg got that one sentence, where it came from, but it seems like the story that we're telling today is just kind of embellishment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's from the standpoint of like the way that stories evolve and the way the game of telephone works, and it becomes part of like folklore.
Right.
Because I heard that completely out of context, where it was, you know, just like any ghost story anyone's ever told you, where it's not attributed to anything. It's just a story that exists.
Right.
You can choose to believe it or not.
Yeah, it's kind of just tracking an urban legend.
Yeah, even still,
Yeah.
like to be able to point to the origin point where we first heard about it doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Well, it genuinely doesn't mean that it didn't happen, because maybe Paul Begg heard it from someone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
in the
that-
strictest sense of it,
Yes.
if you're going to be a lawyer about it, this doesn't prove it didn't happen.
No.
It certainly doesn't paint it in a...
No, because even
plausible light.
Paul Begg's first account does not have all the details of the latest account that became the story.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, prob's not.
Fair enough. Okay, The Man from Torad is so compelling.
I know.
It's such a compelling idea.
Totally. It's so good.
Somebody just being like, I'm traveling through here, thanks.
I'm so bushed.
Where is this? Huh? What's that?
Oh, Torad.
Here in the country? What does it say? Torad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that is. That in and of itself is
where
like
I live. Yeah.
as a springboard for
Yes.
possibilities. You can go 1,000 directions just from there.
Absolutely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it all sounds so, like, it's so mundane to be like, they got him a hotel room.
I know. It's so, there are aspects of it that are so real lifey
It
that
helps
it makes
with credibility that it's so
it makes it sound legit. Yeah.
blah. Yeah. Damn. The Man from Torad.
I know.
If only. That also reminds me, I don't know if you watched it. I think that it was oft maligned. It was one of the, actually Lost, one of the knockoff shows that came out after the popularity of Lost. There was a show called Fringe.
No, I didn't watch it, but I've heard that's good.
I really
feel like
enjoyed
it's
it.
not that maligned.
I watched the whole series
Yeah.
as it was airing. I really, really enjoyed myself with it. Sometimes they went way too far with it. The idea was that it was all mad science.
Yeah.
And a lot of it hinged on multiple universes. And one of the first touches of like 2 universes messing with each other was that basically the membrane between universes got too thin for whatever reason.
Yeah.
There is a doppelganger of you in every subsequent
Yes,
universe.
I remember you telling me about
and
this.
they merged. So there was just like a guy who, there was like an earthquake type event happened, and then they found in the rubble a guy that had 4 arms and 4 legs.
Yeah.
Because 2 versions of the same guy from alternate universes got merged into the same body.
Right.
And it was like totally
Yikes.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Genuinely like
Was it a
creepy
good
and
enough
freaky.
CGI job that it was kind of upsetting, or did it look so fake that you're just kind of like, that would be freaky, but I have some removed from it?
Yeah, it's hard to remember now. I don't think it was even CGI. I think
Yeah.
it was practical.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I'm remembering correctly. And I really enjoyed that show, even when it was dopey.
Yeah.
And it did get pretty damn dopey. It was still just like, it was cotton candy. It went
Yeah.
down smooth.
Well, I had Pacey in it, and I'll watch him in just about anything.
Yeah, and
That
I
guy's
really
great.
like, what is her name? She's now on Manhunter. She's terrific.
I don't know her name.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know her name. I'm just not coming up with it at the moment.
Yeah, is it the girlfriend on Manhunter or it's the woman?
The woman. She's like one of the crime.
Are you thinking of Carrie
pathologists.
Coon by any chance?
Nope.
Okay, everybody thinks that's Carrie Coon and it's not. I don't know the lady's name.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's so damn good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fringe.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's it.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
the man from Torad.
Yeah.
All right. It's my turn now, and I'm going to tell you about something. Quite frankly, I'm curious to see how this goes.
Okay.
So this weekend, we will see the release of, quite frankly, probably one of the biggest movies
Yeah.
of all time.
Yes.
When Avengers Endgame is released. It is more than just one movie, more than just a singular franchise. It's the culmination of over 10 years of filmmaking and 22 movies
Yeah.
of setup. I genuinely am viewing this as not only like a fan of these movies because I really enjoy them, but sort of a feat of the film industry.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
Nothing like this has ever happened
Yes.
before.
Yes.
Nothing. Even long-running franchises like James Bond, there's connective DNA that can
Right.
take you all the way back to the beginning in some sense, but it's almost like 20 franchises rolled into one, whereas the Avengers really is a cohesive unit. It's all one story.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. Over the course of these 22 movies, we've had, Iron Man, which is sort of like an action comedy movie. We've had Thor, which has elements of fantasy. Spider-Man, which has elements of the sort of like teen,
Yeah.
80s teen melodrama comedy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What are we missing in there? So many other subgenres are represented, not horror.
Yeah.
And so here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Avengers Endgame is the end of an era. But they're not going to stop making movies.
No.
Really ever, probably. How can they work horror in there? So I'm going to take you through some of the history of Marvel horror characters
Oh, cool.
to posit a future where they finally get creepy with it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. They're
Cool.
very famously, Disney just bought Fox for
Yeah.
like $71 billion.
Yeah.
Seemingly just to get the rights to the X-Men.
Right.
I'm sure there are other motivations as well, but
Yeah.
these movies are huge money.
Totally.
So they have a lot of characters in their toy box.
Oh, yeah.
What might they be able to do? And so
I like this idea.
let's dig into this. Some of the lesser-known Marvel
In
horror
another
characters.
universe.
Yeah, in another universe. In
Yeah.
the universe where Torad exists,
Yeah.
you might get a Marvel movie that would really
Yeah.
scare you.
Avengers of Horror.
And now let's take a quick break because everything is freaking out.
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh.
See that? I'm going to stop the... Quite frankly, I don't know what to do. 51 minutes in-ish. Let me turn the camera off and turn it back on. Let's see what happens here. I wonder if it's the stream or like initializing the camera. Give us 1 second, folks.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, camera off. You can all still hear us. Letting the camera rest for a moment. And then I'm going to put the camera back on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, because it's not our voices.
Yeah, which makes me think it is the camera. Let's give this just let's give this like 60 seconds.
Sure.
See if it still wigs out.
Okay.
It'll be interesting to see because this might help me know if it's the camera or the stream. So far, nothing's bugged out,
Yeah.
which makes me think it's the camera, which quite frankly is not great,
Yeah.
but at least it means we'd be back online. Yeah, what do you think?
I feel like it's safe to proceed.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Minus
not
is
doing it now.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
If need be, I can always do that again. It's not a super duper long term fix. Maybe it's just a glitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
We'll see.
Well, let's get into
All right,
it.
we're getting back in.
So here we go.
Yeah.
These are some of the Marvel horror characters.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with one of the biggest ones that exists. This character already got to have a trilogy of movies. Granted, they're not folded into the Marvel Cinematic Universe
Yeah.
as we consider it. Blade.
Oh, I didn't know that he was part of the Marvel world.
He is.
Okay.
You're familiar with this character?
Yes.
Tell me what you know.
It has something to do with vampires. It's Wesley Snipes, Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
Is Kate Beckinsale involved?
I don't think so, but she's in
in
like
a werewolf.
Underworld. She's
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
very
yeah.
similar.
Is Underworld werewolves?
Maybe. I think they're
Or it's
lichens,
also, like-
but I don't know what the difference is.
I think you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah, is Blade a vampire hunter, but
Yeah.
he's also a vampire or
Yes.
something? Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
You see, Blade actually was the son. He was being born, and his mom was bitten by Deacon Frost, a vampire.
What a name.
As she was literally giving birth to Blade, she was being bitten by Deacon Frost.
Well, that sounds horrible.
She dies. Blade is born now a mix of vampire and human. He's called a Daywalker.
He's riding the line.
All of their
a
strengths.
Daywalker, that's awesome.
None of their weaknesses.
Oh.
He's got superhuman strength. He can super duper heal. He's got to eat blood, but he does it humanely.
How does he do it?
I think he just like slurps on packets of blood from like donations.
Like he
and
steals
stuff.
them from donations or something?
Quite possibly. I don't know how.
Gross.
Maybe there's a nicer way than that, because actually that just makes me go like, oh, there are people who need like.
Yeah. That's not that humanely. There must be a way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like people who are like just about to die and he
Maybe.
finds a way.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
They probably explain it very quickly.
I'm sure they do.
You
I'm sure
know,
they get
like-
away with
yeah.
it from it fast.
Yeah.
All of these characters are going to end up being anti-heroes.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a single character that Marvel will come up with that they won't eventually be like, and then
And
they're a
also-
good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have their own books.
I think of Blade going like this. You won't be able to see it visually, but like swinging like a big sword up overhead and then like bringing it down and having one knee up and then like looking up slowly.
It was totally that era, especially
Yeah.
with the movies, the very like Matrix, long leather coat
Yeah.
world.
I can picture his sunglasses.
Yeah, without a doubt. He also had a katana. So.
Oh, sick.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a trilogy of movies. He is in the Marvel world, and yet has not been folded in yet. My theory is that
I feel like it wouldn't fit in very well.
I agree, but
Yeah.
I don't think that any of these characters fit into the conventional Marvel world that we know.
Yeah.
You'd have to start a sort of like
Yes.
distinct separate label that's folded under the umbrella of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I totally get that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I can see why Blade hasn't been folded in.
Yes, without
Yeah.
a doubt. Let's move on to Ghost Rider.
Okay. Oh man, I did not know that was Marvel either.
Yeah, so Ghost Rider, what do you know? What does he look like? You know what he
Nicolas
looks like?
Cage.
Just feel like my skull's on fire. He says that at one point in one of those movies.
I know. I've actually never seen them, but I'm
Neither
aware
have
of that. Doesn't he just look like a flaming skull on a person riding a motorcycle?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
The Ghost Rider is more of a title than anything else. Multiple people have been turned into the Rider.
Oh, okay.
The Ghost Rider.
Is there an entity that is the Ghost Rider that like do they have a shade of that when they turn into the Ghost Rider or no, it's always unique?
I think it's kind of like the mask. You know, Stanley Ipkiss can wear the mask, and he's like very like sort of
Yes.
like wacky and cartoony bent. But then Dorian
Right.
wears it, and he's like a demon.
It makes you more of what you are.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I think
what Tom
so.
Hanks says about fame. He says that it doesn't change you necessarily, it makes you more of whatever you already were.
That's
It's a
interesting.
good line, right?
Yeah, that is a good line.
Yeah.
Makes you more of what you are.
So if you're like a nice guy, you're probably going to use your fame. And like that doesn't mean you're like 100% nice all the time,
Sure.
but like you're going to do nice things with it. If you're somebody who's already a little bit of a jerk, you're going to take that power and do not nice things with it.
I wonder if he ever fell in love in an inexplicable way in real life.
I wonder how he and Rita Wilson got together.
How come he's not in the Marvel movies?
I would love that.
That'd be great.
I love Tom Hanks.
I love it when old Hollywood
That's not like
gets
a
folded into
world
the-
rocker, but I'm just saying. I just love him. I'm happy
Yeah.
to see him anywhere.
I like it when like conventional
Yeah.
Hollywood gets
You
folded
too,
in.
it's a surprise. You're like, oh.
Like Robert Redford was in Captain America.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Or
here?
Annette Bening in Captain Marvel, and I lost my cool.
Whoa, Annette Bening in Captain Marvel was.
I
a
did not see
stunner.
that coming.
It was shocking. It's probably one of the most surprising moments in a Marvel movie for me was when Annette Bening showed up.
I lost it. I just lost
It was
it.
incredible.
When she
She really went for it.
oh,
Do
she
your
was having-
pose.
so, time of her life. She
This is gonna work best in the video version.
yeah, okay, so she's wearing jeans. She's
Yeah.
wearing an outfit similar to mine. And she sticks her hand in her pocket, thumb out, get that thumb out, and boom, hand out, and she's warding off something.
like, yeah.
Like that.
Like she goes to destroy someone.
Yeah.
Casual
Oh.
as hell.
Because she doesn't need to do anymore.
She doesn't need her
is the
full
thing.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, so why waste it?
Charisma out the wazoo.
Oh, insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. I can see why she and Warren Beatty have been together for so long. That is a charisma fest if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, so back to Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
So the first incarnation of the Ghost Rider, this is the character that was eventually played by Nick Cage in 2 movies, is a stunt motorcyclist named Johnny Blaze.
Great.
Really interested in some of the names.
Yeah.
Here.
We're always interested in names.
Oh, I love a good name, and there are some
too.
like real like. Are all these
Doozers.
characters born to become the like monster they became? Johnny
There's a lot of,
Blaze
like-
becomes the Ghost Rider with a skull on fire.
Yeah.
Johnny Blaze does.
There's a lot of stuff that's like either on theme for what happens to them, or there's kind of like alliteration.
Right. Yep.
You know.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So he, in order to save his father, he sold his soul to Satan,
Okay.
and then his father died anyway.
I knew it. I knew that was gonna happen. So now he's mad at Satan.
Yeah. Also, it turned out that now I'm mad at Satan.
Yeah.
So now he's mad at Satan? Yeah. That's like in a writer's room. It also turns out later that it wasn't Satan. It was Mephisto in disguise.
Ooh.
Not that that means anything to me, but it was Mephisto in disguise.
I really enjoy Mephisto,
Mephisto,
Mephistopheles. I really, that's a really good name.
Now, Ghost Rider, beyond the two Nick Cage movies,
Yeah.
did get introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they have a TV show on ABC called Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
You ever seen that before?
Should I say a spoiler for this show?
For Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
Is it still on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can I tell
well,
people
just
to fast
spoiler
forward like
warning.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, 30 seconds. I'm going to spoil something from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. real quick. Additional spoiler alert, I do not watch this show.
Okay.
But they brought Ghost Rider onto the show. He's played by just like some like
guy.
another character, but he's not like there's no interaction with the movies.
Okay.
What does connect to the movies is in the first two Avengers movies, there's a character named Phil Coulson. He's like a very sort of like
Oh,
everyman
yeah.
who's just amazed to see these superheroes.
Yeah.
He loves them. He dies in the Avengers movies. He's the lead character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
At the end of
As
the
Phil
season,
Coulson?
yes,
Okay.
they brought him back to life. It's a whole thing. But at the end of
Is he like the boss, kind of?
yes,
Okay.
at
Yeah.
the end of a season, he's fighting a bad guy, and he basically just goes like, "You wouldn't like me when I let my beast out."
Uh-oh.
And then he turns into Ghost Rider.
Oh.
I watched a
Didn't see
clip
that
of it.
coming.
I watched a clip of it, and I was straight up like, "They're not." This isn't connected to the movies anymore. They
Yeah.
can say this is in the same world, but just some guy.
Well, it sounds like they kind of keep the Ghost Rider movies divorced from the Avengers movies world, right? So, like...
Well, but this is also like I don't know when the Ghost Rider movies were, but they were definitely like years upon years ago.
Yeah.
The Marvel movies are like reserved for like a specific set of creative, like a specific creative team that makes them.
Right. So what I'm saying is, I'm sure that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just ignoring that other Ghost Rider movies happened. And they're
yes.
just like,
I just think it's ridiculous to take
Yes.
like a character that we're supposed to know and love,
Yeah.
and turn him into a demon, as if it's like a one-use superpower.
Yeah.
It's just like a silly thing. All right,
There had to be story beyond that. There had to.
I guess.
Yeah.
So here's the next character that I've got. His name is well, it's the son of Satan.
Uh-huh.
This is the name of the
Oh,
character.
okay. Right to the point.
The character's name is Damon Hellstrom.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yikes.
He has a sister.
I guess they use some restraint in not naming him Damien
I
Hellstrom.
don't know if that. I guess that's true. Technically, that will serve
They
as
pulled back.
restraint
Yeah.
in this case.
Yeah.
He has a sister named Satana.
Awesome.
Seems like a good guy. Dad's a devil. Mom's a human. Bit of a nasty shock for her when she found out.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, Damon Hellstrom and Satana
Good job. Uh-huh.
grew up separately. Damon became a good guy. Satana became
not.
a bad guy.
Did they have to fight?
Yeah, they fought.
How'd it
The
go?
family didn't go good.
Not well.
It wasn't good.
Who won?
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, here's a character I genuinely like.
Yeah.
All the other ones I've just been making fun of. Here's a character that I thought was kind of cool. I've never heard of this character before. It's a character just named Terror.
Okay.
A strange name for
Yeah.
like a character.
Yeah. Well, there's like Venom.
Yeah, I guess that's true. So here's the idea behind Terror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I genuinely think that this is really freaky and neat.
Yeah.
Terror is an immortal being,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a zombie.
Okay.
He's like a cursed human whose like physical form is like decaying flesh, and they are dead yet alive.
Okay.
Here's Terror's deal. If you met Terror like today and now,
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to help you stop the bad guys. I can stop the particularly evil ones because I can't die."
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Here's what his deal is. He was a caveman
Okay.
This goes back to like the cradle of life, the beginnings of human life. He's like
Yeah.
a Cro-Magnon man.
Yeah.
There was a group of Cro-Magnon people that were being terrorized by a demon bear. They had to face it and fight it, and this guy was the one who delivered the killing blow.
Oh.
And as a, quote, curse for his victory.
A curse for his victory.
Yeah, which I like that phrasing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like monkey's paw, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You've
yeah.
achieved something, and yet
Right.
what you get for your trouble
Right.
is not something that you would
That's
want.
awesome.
He suffers like the same curse as this demon bear had.
Oh, I wonder if the bear was like the bear from Annihilation.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty much what I'm picturing. And
Yeah.
suddenly his flesh starts decaying off his body.
Oh,
He starts
man.
like turning green, and he's rotted.
That is cool.
During the Dark Ages, he was known as a man named Shrek. And this is like the Max Shrek kind of idea, like the old, what Shrek used to mean before it was
Yeah.
a silly ogre.
I was going to say before it was donkey.
Yeah.
Before Shrek was donkey.
Before Shrek was donkey.
Yeah.
But Shrek is a word that means fear,
Yeah.
scare.
Oh.
So he was
like
known.
Shriek.
Yes, like Shriek. He
Oh.
was known as Shrek, and he was hideous and ugly, and he did horrible
awesome.
things. Like he murdered people, and he was a true monster.
Yeah.
And then at one point, somehow, he fell in love with a woman, and she loved him back.
Oh.
But you understand the nature of the way that he lives. She eventually died.
Yeah.
And he had her hand. One of his superpowers that I have not mentioned yet is that his skin and his blood are both gross, icky slime, and they have an element of adhesiveness to them.
Oh.
He can, if you chop his arm off,
Yeah.
he can chop your arm off and just put it on.
Oh.
He can adopt body parts
Okay.
from other people. That's what terror can do. When his loved one dies, he has her hand attached to him for all time.
As his hand?
Not as his hand, like it's like in his body, so that she can be a part of him. He can always be with her.
Okay, because I was going to say, if he just has like one tiny feminine hand and then...
That's
It's
a better
cool
idea.
and all,
You know what? Screw
but
it. That is
yeah.
what happened.
yeah.
But I
That's very cool.
I've never heard a story like this before.
No, me neither.
Where has this character been?
Yeah. Somebody needs to dredge up terror.
Yeah, let's get terror going again.
That's a really cool, creepy
So cool.
story.
Now I will say there might be a reason why the character went away. I read one thing about some of the exploits that he's had.
Yeah.
At some point, the character the Punisher dunked Terror into a tank of piranha.
Oh.
But don't worry, Terror had already injected himself with poison, thus killing the piranha so he wouldn't be eaten.
Okay. Well, Terror had some good forethought.
Yeah, I wonder if like, at that point if they were like, let's cancel the book.
I would also think that anything like biting Terror would just get stuck to him if his blood is kind of adhesive.
That's interesting. I
they
don't know
just
if
have
fish...
like a whole bunch of like piranha hanging off of him.
Right, that's a good point. I don't know
Yeah.
if fish are compatible though.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, that's true. Their DNA might not.
Anyway, very curious about Taylor. Would like to know.
Yeah.
Terror would like to know more, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Elsa Bloodstone.
Oh my God.
Elsa Bloodstone has basically just been compared to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, put simply, she's a monster hunter. And then
What a good name for a monster hunter.
the one thing that I had any interest in writing down
yeah.
is this: she lives in Bloodstone Manor with her mom and Adam. Oh, who's Adam? You
Adam.
ask? The Frankenstein monster.
Oh, okay. All right.
I also went on to find out that Dracula, the Mummy, and the Wolfman are technically in the Marvel Universe too.
Oh.
Not the originals,
Yeah.
you know, like
Weren't we just
literary
talking about this for some
literary
reason?
modifications of so
Right.
like Universal and Marvel incompatible.
Yeah. Right.
But like I think we learned about the Universal stuff that like if you put bolts on Frankenstein's neck, you can't
Yeah.
do that. That's a Universal thing.
Right,
But
there are a lot of
theoretically, Marvel
little bit of
could
a
have a
workaround.
reanimated man that was made by Dr. Victor Frankenstein. That would they might get away with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Interesting.
It would be confusing on a
That's
consumer
such
level.
an obscure back door,
Right?
but a back door nonetheless.
Yes, yeah, very, very weird.
Huh.
Let's move on to this guy. Have you ever heard of Morbius, the living vampire?
Of course, I've heard of Morbius living vampire. He's
So-
my fave.
Here's the thing. Michael Morbius was born with a rare blood condition, which also had the effect of making him quote-unquote ugly. This is the character origin
That's tough.
of Michael Morbius. He experimented on himself trying to cure his condition and ended up coming up with a treatment that involved electroshock therapy and vampire DNA. Vampire bat DNA.
Man, that's intense. You have to really want it.
He really bungled
You know?
it, and he turned into a vampire.
He got botched.
Yeah. He turned himself into a vampire. That's what
That
this
really
character
sucked.
is.
So he was just trying. Was his motivation? Was he in pain for his blood disorder? Or he was just like, I hate being ugly. This stinks.
I think it was
everybody's hot to trot on Lestat.
I think, yeah. Man, how about
Hot to
that?
trot on Lestat.
Get working on the new book, Ricey.
Us Lestatians are waiting. We've talked way more about the vampire Lestat tonight than I anticipated.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so I guess both then. Yeah, because that's just, it's a big length to go just because you feel like you're a little busted.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Although that is very painful.
sadly, it only made him more butt ugly.
Oh, no.
He came out looking like a bat. He looks like a bat. I've looked at pictures of Morbius, the living
Is
nightmare.
he small, like a bat?
No, he's big, he's pale, he can't be in the sun. He has that flat sort of bat nose and long, pointy bat ears.
Like Bat Boy.
He's like a bat boy, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's called a pseudo-vampire, and he will be played by Jared Leto in an upcoming Sony movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow that.
Unsurprisingly.
We're coming toward the
Wow.
end. I'm gonna start moving fast through these because
Sure.
they're bizarre. Sleepwalker.
Uh-huh.
Never heard of this character before. Sleepwalker is the name of a character and also the name of a race of creatures.
Okay.
Essentially, you go to sleep at night, your mind is vulnerable.
To the sleepwalker.
Kind of.
Yeah.
There exists a dimension full of creatures that might try to inhabit your mind, and the sleepwalkers are essentially the guardians that
Oh.
keep demons from, inhabiting
Yeah.
your vulnerable brain while you are sleeping.
Oh, man.
I actually
That's a
kind
cool
of
idea.
like this.
Yeah. Also, I really like the word somnambulism.
Somnambulist.
Which
yeah.
is like sleepwalking, and I feel like they could work that in there somehow.
Sure, yeah.
There's probably somebody named like Somnambulus, like
Yeah.
ending with US in
I
the
would,
comic.
if it were up to me and I had to write in the style of all this stuff, I would
Mm-hmm.
say that there was a man named John Nambulus who was cursed to never be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he tried to cure himself.
That fits in perfectly.
Yeah, he fell into a vat of warm milk. And now he can't wake up, and he guards the sleep realm. That's my...
It's actually pretty great.
It's
Actually pretty great.
According to the list I'm reading you, it would work.
Yeah.
John Nambulus, the somnambulist. Okay.
Or Samnambulus.
Somnambulus. All right, Deathlock.
Yeah.
Deathlock is also sort of a title.
Okay.
Soldiers who die in battle are brought back to life and attached to a bunch of cybernetic body parts to do work for the government.
Oh, God.
That's pretty damn horrifying.
Yeah.
You're a zombie, but you're not. You're
Right.
you, but you're not.
And you're
half
brought back just
machine.
for the period, purpose of being used.
Yes.
Not even brought back to go back to your life in some way.
Exactly.
That's dark.
It's almost darker than anything else
Yeah,
on here
yeah.
because in a sick way it feels feasible.
I know.
It's very RoboCop, and
Yeah.
RoboCop was like darkly like comedic and almost like a satire of like,
I've actually never seen RoboCop.
oh, it's sickening.
Yeah.
It would make you want to puke.
It looks gross.
Yeah, it's very gross. All right, Man Thing.
Yeah. Oh. Man thing.
This is a weird slop monster from the bayou.
Okay.
Everything I looked up is just the same thing as Swamp Thing.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Literally the same thing as Swamp Thing. I looked it up. Man Thing came out first by
Yeah.
2 months.
Okay.
Which a lot of people point out doesn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like, Man Thing came out and 2 months later they released a Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
They came out at the same time.
Right.
It's unclear if one ripped the other off. There's also a different Bayou monster thing that existed a few decades prior, so maybe they both ripped that thing off. No one's really sure.
Yeah.
What I do know is this. In DC, there are a number of horror characters that, quite frankly, feel kind of natural to
Yeah.
me. Like, Marvel has really crushed the movie universe.
Yeah.
DC's struggled in that arena. DC, I feel like, could crush the horror genre
That's
with
true.
their characters.
Maybe that would be the way for them to lean and kind of, it's like, you know, still kind of playing off the success of the Avengers and things like that, but going in a different direction.
Do
So it's
something
not just
different.
trying to totally ape it and fail.
Yep, do something different.
Yeah.
Because, like, Swamp Thing, I read a bunch of... I'm not a comic book reader.
Yeah.
I read a bunch of Swamp
Yeah,
Thing
I remember.
comics. There's, like, a whole thing in that where he's, like, you know, he's an advocate for the green, which is
Right.
all plant life. And he fights against, like, his villains are all colored red because to oppose the green, it's all about the flesh.
Oh.
And so there are these disgusting, like, meat monsters, and it's truly
Yeah.
disturbing and
Sounds
messed
like
up.
it.
Man-Thing.
Uh-huh.
So Swamp Thing was a guy that was doing research, and then he got eaten up by a swamp, and he's not even a man anymore.
Yeah.
He's like a collection of cells that he's a creature made out of, like, you know, swamp goo
Right.
that thinks it was once a man.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
That's what Swamp Thing is. It's kind of more nuanced
Yeah.
than being like, I turned into a goo thing.
Yeah.
Here's what I've got on Man-Thing. He was trying to make superhuman serum, like what they had with Captain America.
Yeah.
And then something went wrong, and also magic got involved, and he turned into Man-Thing.
Oh, okay. Was there also mud involved or something like
So
that?
much less interesting when you throw the word magic in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can tell me any pseudoscience.
And also, it just seems so different from usual superheroes. Like, magic is not usually involved. It's usually some freak accident or something
Right.
like that, or like something from the hell realm.
Sure.
Magic does sound just like a little more benign in
Yeah,
some way.
and we had to get it done.
And like stumbling into it. Yeah.
And whatever, he's
Still we
Man-Thing.
use magic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Man-Thing.
Yeah.
Like, Swamp Thing is
Just lack
really
a certain something.
disturbing and bizarre. It's like
Right.
there are like these like little slug things that like they can eat each other and
Uh-huh.
gain knowledge from each other. This is a true thing about real life.
Yeah.
If you put like a little gross little a leech
Yeah.
in a maze, like a mouse trying to go find the cheese, you put a
Gross.
drop of blood in that maze, it can find its way to
Yeah.
the blood.
Yeah.
If you cut up that leech and feed it to a bunch of other leeches, they know how to do the
Oh,
maze.
yeah, that's right.
That's a fact.
That is so insane.
That's a fact. They can gain knowledge by consuming
Right.
another leech.
The
So
world
the idea,
is so crazy.
oh, 100%. So the idea was that this guy fell into the bayou and got
Mm-hmm.
eaten by these leeches plus some weird science stuff.
Right.
They ate him and acquired his knowledge.
Right.
And so Swamp Thing isn't that guy. That guy's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
But this
He's a
thing
new
has all
thing.
his memories
Yeah.
and is trying to do the right thing.
Uh-huh.
It's just so much. It's still stupid.
Yes.
It's still wacky.
Yeah, but like a little more grounded in a weird
Yeah,
way.
it's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So here are some alternatives
Okay.
to all these characters. Here's things that Marvel could do.
Yeah.
I found out about something called the Howling Commandos.
Ooh, okay.
This is a particular operative team. Think of like Guardians of the Galaxy, how
Yeah.
it's made of like a tree man and a big muscle
Yeah.
guy and whatever.
Right.
A green lady.
Uh-huh. And a hottie.
Howling Commandos
Yeah.
is all made up of monsters.
Cool.
So like Man-Thing is part of this.
Yeah.
Blade might be part of this. They would be a team that would be working together, and maybe the Avengers do stuff that's like on a galactic level. They're going
Right.
to save all this stuff. The Howling Commandos get all the jobs that the average person is not allowed to know about.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
have to operate in the shadows because people can't
Right.
know about vampires and werewolves. We'd go nuts.
well, also maybe like the Avengers are kind of like dealing with space and stuff, and maybe the Howling Commandos are like the home team dealing with things that are like on Earth.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I feel like they could be like the paranormal task
Yeah,
force.
yeah.
Right? Like Iron
That's
Man.
cool.
What's Iron Man going to do against a ghost?
Right.
You know,
Yeah, he's not equipped for
an
that.
angry ghost.
Right.
Yeah. Here's another way they could go. There's a string of popular comic books called Marvel Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
This is like werewolf is a zombie and going nuts and eating
Yeah.
people and stuff. It's very Walking Dead meets Marvel, and it's like there's an outer space monster that comes and
Okay.
they eat him too. It's like it goes a little nuts.
Yeah.
They went ahead and they also made Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness, where
Okay.
Ash
Yeah.
from the Evil Dead is running around trying to stop the Marvel zombies.
Huh. Okay.
It didn't seem great.
Yeah.
My point is,
That doesn't really appeal to me.
so far, I mean, one of the biggest strengths of the Marvel Universe is that it's all connected and everything builds on
Yeah.
each other. But I still kind of wish we got to see sort of like what if
Yeah.
kind of stories. It'd be cool to just like see a thing where like Tony Stark gets bitten and turns into, a zombie for a while.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Sure.
And everyone would understand this this is like a dream state almost.
Right.
This is like not part of the real story, but like it's fun to
Right,
do.
it's a little offshoot. It's like almost like fanfic, but kind of like blown up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It would just be
You
like
don't,
wacky
you don't have
and
to
fun.
factor it into like your main storyline as canon that affects it.
Yep, exactly.
A side mission.
But it's unclear if Marvel will ever do any of this
Yeah.
stuff. They might relegate some of these characters to like shows on a streaming platform or something like that. But I
you
still
never
feel
know though. They're going to be missing this. You know what I mean?
exactly. That's my thing. Is I feel like
Yeah.
it's just something. It's a genre that is
Yeah.
missing from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, that, but I also mean like missing it. Like they're going to want to have another big boom of things.
Yeah, and I feel like that would be a fun one. Like
Yeah,
some of the
totally.
other like horror universes that have come like get criticized heavily. The Conjuring universe is
Right.
the most successful horror cinematic universe possible with 2 Conjuring movies and like presently what like
A whole
4 or
bunch,
5 spin-offs?
if not more. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
So
even know the
think
Curse
they're,
of
like,
La Llorona was one of them.
3 or 4 Annabelles. Yeah, the Curse of La Llorona is
The Nun, the
yeah.
Crooked Man's coming out.
Yep, and then I'm trying to remember what the hell's that movie with also Patrick Wilson and whatever?
No, you're thinking
Okay.
of Insidious?
Yes, that's not part of the universe, right?
No,
Okay.
weirdly, those were made by James Wan. Though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
I know.
Same thing.
I know.
But like that's big. Obviously, Universal tried to do the Dark Universe where they would connect all, like Frankenstein and
Right.
the Mummy and stuff.
Right.
And that failed right out of the gate with the Tom Cruise Mummy.
It's surprising they just shelved it based on just that.
Just burn it.
Yeah.
Let's not
just
try to
one
do better.
thing.
Yeah.
Like one thing, a pattern is 3 things. Like, so even if you don't go to 3, I'm surprised they didn't go to 2.
Yeah.
Because you could say, okay, the second one failed. This isn't looking good.
Guess what?
I get that.
The
Yeah.
first 2 Marvel Cinematic Universes were Iron Man, which is
Yeah.
probably one of the most fun superhero movies ever made.
Yeah.
And then the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton.
Oh,
Which was
yeah.
really weird and didn't feel tonally similar at all.
Right, right.
And they just kind of pretended didn't exist.
Yeah.
Thor wasn't that great.
Right.
Just keep working on it. Try it.
I
You're not
know.
really making individual movies anymore. You're making a TV show.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I've ever come across in like studying how to write for TV is episode 1, your pilot, is obviously super important. It sets everything
Yeah.
up. The most important episode is episode 2.
Yeah.
Here's where you're starting to establish your pattern and see if people want to come back for more.
Right, because people give like pilots and first things a little bit of leeway. So like, okay, we're getting to
Yeah.
know them. I'm not going to be
It's all
totally
set
hooked
up.
right away.
Uh-huh.
But then if by the second episode you're not like really hooked, and you're done.
They could have done a better
Yeah.
second movie. It is my feeling.
Yeah,
And quite frankly,
surprising.
they might have made the smartest choice because to my knowledge now, what they were originally planning to do was have like Johnny Depp star in The Invisible Man. They were going to make Bride of Frankenstein
Right. Yeah.
with Angelina Jolie rather than do Frankenstein first,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah.
But to my knowledge, Jason Blum and Blumhouse are now in control of
Oh.
those movies.
Oh,
And
that's
Blumhouse
good.
is crushing it
Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms
yeah.
of making like interesting modern
Yep.
horror movies. They have a tried
That's
and
very
true
good.
method. And they go for like low budget,
Yep.
high concept, and I feel like that's so much better than throwing millions of dollars at Tom Cruise to tumble around in an airplane for the Mummy.
Totally.
So
Also,
I'm-
for him to set up, fun fact behind the scenes, set up massage tents for cast to take advantage of, but then they're getting a hard sell about Scientology while they're getting a massage.
Is that true?
Yes.
I would handle that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would too. I'd feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm doubting myself. He definitely has done that. I think it was on the Mummy. It could be on another movie.
A little shiatsu
I'm
with
not totally sure.
Scientology?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Nothing wrong with
Do they
that.
have the butt inflation
Oh my
corner or
God.
anything where they inflate the seat of your pants? Like,
They offer that to you as a complimentary service.
Yeah.
On behalf of Mr. Cruz, we'd like to offer you this butt
we'd
inflation
like to offer you more cushion.
for, whatever you'd like to do with it, pushing or otherwise.
Everyone look up Tom Cruise Valkyrie butt.
It's one of my favorite things on
It's
the internet.
incredible. And then there are a couple universes that we may never see.
Yeah.
The biggest one to me is, quite frankly, confusing. I myself have taken a stab at a mental exercise seeing how you could possibly pull this off.
Uh-huh.
The connected slasher universe.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. I know no one wants this.
I do. I would totally take
If
this.
it's done well, people
Yeah.
want it. From the outset,
I'll watch anything horror-y or slashery pretty much.
I used to think of the following. This
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
goes back. This is a few years old. This idea, but I think that it might still be the beginning germ of an idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking about all the famous slashers: Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, and I almost started to lump them into teams in a weird way. Freddy Krueger could easily lead a pack of killers to try to do something. Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, and Jason Voorhees. Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees both being like tall, silent killers in masks.
They could just be his thugs.
Yeah, they're almost identical.
Yeah,
That's
totally true.
They could be on two separate teams that are going up against each other or something.
Yep.
Freddy is leading the charge with Jason against Michael Myers and, I don't know, some other really talkative, Chucky.
Yeah,
Chucky or something. Chucky and Freddy are fighting with each other.
Right.
And they're corralling all these serial killers or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That works.
And just start connecting them all. Who cares? Which would then lead to a spin-off of movies called The Final Girls, where Jamie Lee Curtis starts getting all of the characters that survived those various movies and forming a task force of all the final girls to go finally kill Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. Maybe that's even the central conflict is two teams, a team of survivors and a team of killers or something.
And one has to destroy the other.
Yeah.
End this once and for all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
would
like
totally watch that.
It's almost
especially
weirder
Jamie
that
Lee
no
Curtis
one,
was in it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost weirder that no one has tried that.
I guess they do the little mini team up things, or not even team up, but like Freddy versus Jason.
Even
and
that
stuff
was
like that
was 20 years ago.
Oh God, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't do this stuff. They don't make the
don't
slasher
really.
movies anymore.
No, I know.
They haven't. They made they rebooted
I
Nightmare
think
on
they-
Elm Street like a decade ago.
Yeah. But I think because Halloween was such a huge hit that, although I'm surprised that we haven't heard more news about them in development.
Yep. If
Yeah.
there was going to be a boom, it would be coming this year or next year.
I know, and you'd be hearing about the projects.
We were hearing about Halloween all
Yeah,
in the
no,
lead
you're
up
totally
to
right.
October last year. We would have heard something by now if something was coming out October
I know,
this
that
year.
is weird. I wonder why. Huh.
Yeah.
I wonder what the
It's weird.
psychosocial reasons are.
I don't know why.
this.
From a business standpoint, you know how
Yeah.
cheap it is to make those. That's
Yeah.
why they got made in the first place.
Right.
And they get popular if you do them well.
Yeah.
You know, this is surprising.
It is surprising. I wonder if in the same way that they canceled Fear on MTV partially because 9/11 was so upsetting.
Right.
I wonder if there's stuff about like what's going on in the world right now and what we're kind of paying a little bit more attention to and speaking up about more now, just like a lot of injustices kind of across the board.
Yeah.
That makes it seem less viable to have, I don't know, like a guy on screen slashing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess.
wonder.
I guess.
I'm
But
only
is
thinking
it-
of this now, so it's half baked. But
I
I wonder
know.
if there's anything there.
There were only ever really two pops of the slasher genre,
Mm-hmm.
and the one was in like the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And then started to die
Right.
around the 90s.
Right.
And then when Scream brought it back, and that only lasted for
I know, not long.
not long.
But it was a boom.
6 years, 7 years, something
good
like that.
boom.
It was a good boom.
Good
It was a
boom.
fun boom.
Yeah.
But even they had to like find a new reason to make slashers
know.
relevant again.
I know.
And for them, it
I
wasn't even
wonder.
about making them paranormal. It was about
Right.
making them whodunits.
Right.
So like maybe it's just like we don't have our hook
I know.
for now.
I know. I wonder what it'll be. It is surprising.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it. I kind of took for granted that we were going to get a bunch of slashers again
So did
after
I.
Halloween, but you're right. There's
Yeah.
been no news.
Nope, no news. I've been waiting.
Shucks.
Been waiting and watching.
Yeah.
Was not the biggest fan of the Halloween movie that came out last
Nor
year. Mm-hmm.
I, but it was a big hit, so I would have thought that it would spawn a bunch of copycats.
Yeah, I'm like, especially like in a day and age where you could make a Freddy Krueger movie that's genuine. Like, there's no better time to make a Freddy Krueger movie
Yeah.
when we have access to like CGI that is this
Yeah.
like interesting. Like, you could really do some creative
Yeah, you
stuff.
could really
with
do
that
something
character.
really disgusting with a tongue.
well, you could
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of tongue stuff.
There's a
there,
lot of
huh?
tongue stuff.
Yeah.
Really CGI one up right nice.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
there you have it. The
Yeah.
the horror possibilities in the Marvel universe.
Well, I hope that happens.
I would love it if that would happen.
That'd be really sweet. I hope this idea is on the wind
Yeah,
somehow.
it'd be great. I mean, I
I
used
hope
to.
it's in the collective unconscious. You picked it up and it's already in development.
That'd be great. There
Yeah.
was a period in time where I was one of those people that was really cynically against the Marvel movies and
Mm-hmm.
just being like, "What's with all the cliffhangers at the end of it? They're not even movies anymore."
Oh, it's so fun.
And I was so against it. I was so like annoyed by them.
Yeah.
But now, and I used to say at the time, I was like, "Is there going to be a day
Mm-hmm.
where movies are just all part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And if
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
watch like a romantic comedy, it's always going to be between two comic book characters.
Yeah, right.
Because it's just taking over everything.
Yeah.
And like all the biopics we get are going to be about Stan Lee.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, you know what? They've proven that they know how to make a damn entertaining
Absolutely.
movie. In terms of like movies being entertainment, like no one's doing it better.
The same way that cliches are cliches for a reason. Like the Marvel movies are big hits and have wide appeal
Yep.
for a reason. They're appealing.
They're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Even when they try to make Star Wars like fit sort of that like format,
Yeah.
it's not working and people are annoyed at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, 22 movies in a
know.
row.
I know, it's crazy.
They've not taken a year off
Right.
since they started, and they're all good,
Yeah.
or at least like acceptable.
Totally.
The worst movie is still like,
Yeah, I saw it fun
yeah,
or whatever.
and most
Yeah.
of them are like, well, that was great.
Yeah.
Sure, make some horror movies then. Like,
Absolutely. If you can apply
Yeah.
that to horror movies, I'll be in heaven.
I'll be way into that.
Yeah. Except I don't really love horror mixed up with my action. In a
I guess
way.
I don't either, but you got to make it
So-
smaller scale.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to see necessarily like all those people like running into battle with like swords held high.
Right.
I'd rather it be a little bit more just scary and human in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure now that I say that, but
Yeah.
I'm still I want to nurture horror projects out there in the world
Yeah.
so that it spawns other horror projects. So for that reason alone, I want this.
Yep.
But I'm sure they'd make it cool.
Yeah, I bet they would.
Yeah.
I bet they would.
I bet they would.
Well, anyway, there you have it.
That's right.
So when you're braving the horrors of the movie theater this weekend,
Yeah.
when you're shouldering past people and trying to get the popcorn before somebody else does,
Yeah, that's right.
think about the way that Marvel movies could truly chill your
That
soul.
suggests that you're serving popcorn yourself or something like that. Like, I gotta get to this first.
That's mine!
You'll all get it.
4 kernels of popcorn on,
Yeah.
on like the counter.
It's a mad dash.
Yeah. So there you go, everybody. That brings us to the end of another episode of Guide to the Unknown.
That's right. So you can find us all over the internet at GTTU Pod before next week. So on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we're at that URL. You can also join our secret group on Facebook if you go to facebook.com/groups/GTTU Pod.
Yeah. You can also go to patreon.com
Yep.
if you want to give a little something back to us. We would greatly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yep.
And other than that, if you want to talk to us, we're both online.
That's right. I'm at Chillin' Kristen on Instagram.
I'm at The Myth Traveler. So come back
Right.
in 1 week's time when Chris and I will be digging back into the weird world of horror, the world of the weird.
Yeah. The world of the weird.
But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we. Cool. All right.
We did it, everybody.
Yeah, we
did
made it.
I wonder what the camera thing was. It turned out to not
Yeah,
happen
it's so
again.
weird.
Huh?
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked about Endgame.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Allie and I are seeing it on Friday night.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I've already had a couple things spoiled for me accidentally. Not bothered.
Oh, good.
Not bothered about
I know
it.
nothing about it.
I knew nothing about it. I learned a little something about it, and all it
Yeah.
did was make me go like, "Oh, I can't wait to see that."
Oh, cool.
So
Yeah. I love a Marvel movie.
yeah, I'm very very interested.
I loved the Spider-Man Marvel movie.
Yes.
I loved it.
So did I.
And I love the trailer for the new one. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
it's really good.
Yeah.
I hope that Michael Keaton's in it still. I would love
know.
that.
I know.
I watched. There's a YouTube channel called Lessons from the Screenplay, where, well, at least in this video, he did a deep dive of that scene where Michael Keaton is driving Spider-Man and his daughter to the prom,
yeah.
or whatever.
It's not Mary Jane, right?
No.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But they like talked about why that scene,
Gwen? Is it Gwen Stacy?
No, it's
no,
not.
somebody else. Yeah.
why that scene is so like well handled, what makes it so good.
I remember it. It's really good.
And just watching this video, Lessons from the Screenplay, everybody go check out this channel. They're amazing. If you have even like the faintest interest in writing, it's going to make you want to like pause the video and start like opening up a screenplay.
Yeah.
But it's like all about the balancing act of Michael Keaton and like the levels of knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's all about like Spider-Man knows that he is Spider-Man and knows that Michael Keaton is the Vulture.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton knows that he is the Vulture, does not know
Yeah.
that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And his daughter doesn't know any of this.
Right.
So it's all about this balancing act of knowledge.
Yeah.
And so
Makes total sense.
yeah, so the daughter will be like, yeah, no, Michael Keaton goes like, why do you seem so familiar? And then there's a sliding scale that starts to put Peter Parker in a danger zone.
Yeah.
And then the daughter goes, he was at my party. And it slides back into neutral.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh, that's why. She goes, but you disappeared. Like, you always disappear. And it puts him right back into
Yeah,
danger
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man starts going like, no, I was there. Like, it's all about, like, balancing out who knows what in the scene. And
Yeah.
it was incredible. And it just made
That's
me go like,
awesome.
you're right. This
Spider-Man's so good, right, Michelle?
this movie's a work of art.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is incredible.
He himself is a work of art.
'Cause, like,
I love him.
At a certain moment, he like stops the car and he lets his daughter leave, and he's about to like threaten Spider-Man.
Yeah, he does menacing very well.
It's very frightening. And
Yeah.
he goes, of all the reasons I didn't want my daughter to date.
Uh-huh.
And it's almost like he's like
Yeah.
bonding with Spider-Man
Yeah.
for a second. Like, can you believe we're in this
I
position?
love that moment in things where it's just like, oh, man, I know that we're gonna have to get into a fight in a minute, but just like, God damn it.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
position
love
we're in.
it. I
And
love
then he
it.
goes, because I'll kill you.
Yeah.
I'll kill you and everyone you love. So
Like he seems just like a nice dad.
Yeah.
You forget his bad guyness, and you're like, oh God, yay. Yeah. I'm Birdman or whatever his name is. What's
Birdman.
that? What's that guy's?
The
bad
Vulture.
guy? The Vulture. Yeah, yeah.
And it's so good that
Vulture.
he was Batman.
I
And then
know.
he became
So
Birdman,
many
and then he became the
birds.
Vulture. Yeah.
This guy's meant to be winged.
He is.
born to be winged.
And boy, does he make my heart take flight.
Mine too.
All right, everybody.
All right, guys. Yeah.
We're gonna split. I'm gonna make like my pants and split.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
We hope you had a good time. We will
Yep.
see you again soon, I am sure. But until
right.
then, we hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah. Have a good night,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. All right.
Enjoy Endgame. Whoever's gonna see it.
Yeah. Have a good time.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.